And as the movement now slows, you begin to feel your point of view here and now, the most relevant time and space.
I feel as if I'm at the foot of the Sphinx.
Okay. Is it the right or the left?
To the left,
Mm-hmm.
staring at the front.
Mm-hmm. What else can you tell me about your surrounding? Have a look around. Is it day? Is it night?
It's day. It's warm, very bright. Everything seems new, intact.
How is the landscape?
I know there's water near. There's like palm trees. And there's greenery.
Very good. Would you like to have a look at your body and tell me, first of all, if you feel like you have a body, and then if you do feel like, how does that look like?
I do have a body, and I feel a male. I'm wearing white, not like a robe, but it comes to my knees. And I have sandals on my feet.
How old do you feel like?
Middle 20s.
How does it feel being in this body and in this place right now?
I feel vibrant, energetic, full of life. I feel I have a lot of respect for the buildings and the Sphinx.
And you are now standing in front of the Sphinx, you said, on her pole.
So looking at her, I'm to the left.
What is the reason why you're there? Do you have any connection with the Sphinx?
I feel like I live there, and I'm like paying respect or a lot of admiration. So big. It's like I'm praying or giving reverence and grateful thankfulness for the protection.
To the Sphinx?
Mm-hmm.
So the Sphinx is protecting you?
Like protecting the land of all.
Can you tell me more about it?
I do see others walking around, and it's quiet and calm.
Mm-hmm.
And everything is glistening.
What do you mean?
Like the stone of the Sphinx there's a glisten to it, like a shimmer.
What color is it?
It's very golden. It's in perfect condition.
Is it new built? How long is it there?
Can you say that again?
I was wondering if you know how long is the Sphinx there already? You said it's new, right?
It feels newer.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't damage to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been there for a while, but it's like everyone has such respect that they really make sure to look after everything around there and keep it pristine.
Would you like to describe her for us, please? Can you have a look at the head? How does the head look like? The head of the Sphinx.
The head of the Sphinx is beautiful, a beautiful face, a fierce face, but there's radiation of love that comes off of her. She's like very lioness in her features, but the face is human.
A male human or a female?
She looks female.
Mm-hmm.
Like a queen, like a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
But I get a lot of protection feelings. She's protecting the land and the pyramids. She's like a gateway.
A gateway? Can you tell me more about that?
Like you have to pass through her first to get to pyramids.
What do you mean? How do you pass through her?
It's almost like she gives permission who can enter.
And you enter her body?
Mm-hmm. To enter her body, even to enter the other pyramids. It's like you have to go through her.
Mm-hmm.
Not all is allowed.
Not all the people, you mean? Not everyone?
Yeah, not everybody is allowed.
Mm-hmm. Why not? Is she deciding who she will allow and who not?
Very sacred.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all like who's worthy or what. It has to do with intentions. The energy is so strong that not all can even handle what's inside or the energy that's inside.
Mm-hmm. So how does that process work? If you were to, let's say, want to go to the pyramids, what do you do? How does this process unfold? Could you describe please, for us?
It's like a meeting of the minds of people that are, it's like ranks. I feel like the spirit of the Sphinx, she talks to the higher council of the pyramids.
Who is the higher council of the pyramids? What could you tell me about that?
Well, they're the gods, and then there are the kings. And so it's like a meetings that are held between the spirits of the gods and the actual beings of the king of Egypt, the pyramids. They're very protective of who's allowed to enter, and they keep that very sacred and hold that with pristine protection.
So if one is indeed allowed to proceed, what does this process involve? How does it work?
like they talk telepathically to each other. It's almost not like words, really. It's like through their minds. It's like there's citizens, and then there's like everyday people, and they're like always, that's their dream, is to be able to enter. And it's like their lives they work hard to do good, or to be able to have that chance. It's almost like chosen ones, or and it's like the council knows who is approaching or who is about to approach. And a lot of people try, but they don't get in.
How about you? Have you tried to get in?
Yeah, it's like my heart's longing. But I feel as if I visit a lot at the feet of the Sphinx, praying, but I don't feel as if I've gotten in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my heart's desire.
So do you think that if you would attempt to get in, you would be allowed?
I think I know that I'm not allowed, and so it's just like it's almost as if I just go every day and pray and ask, what do I need to do, or show me, what can I do better to enter. It's like I'm missing the point of it in a way. Maybe it's my youth, but I feel as if she's loving, and as if she's looking down and smiling, and she says, keep your heart clean, and maybe one day you can.
Mm-hmm. So you are able to communicate with her?
Yeah, almost like telepathically again. It's like I'm hearing her through my spirit or my mind,
mm-hmm.
as I'm praying to her. Like in meditation, when your guides come through and you really feel them talking to you. And that's how I see myself, as I'm kneeling down and giving respect and thanking her, begging her. But I can feel her spirit.
That's wonderful. Would you then allow her to speak through you? Would you like to connect with her in the same way, telepathically, and let her speak through you?
Yes.
Okay, so would you allow her to borrow your voice?
Yes.
Okay. So may I talk then now, connect to the spirit that resides within this body of the Sphinx?
Yes.
It is with the great honor that I am connecting with you today. I would like to thank you for your willingness to communicate with us in this way.
Thank you for connecting.
Do I have permission to ask you a few questions?
Proceed.
Thank you. So I would like to start by saying that for many of us, you are a great mystery, and indeed very much honored and fascinated by your your presence. Would you like to talk a little bit to us about your purpose of being in this sacred land?
I am the great protector. I am a reminder. And I'm a channel.
Would you like to talk to us about the element of protection that you just mentioned?
All who wants to enter must go through me. Many want to, but this is very sacred land that holds the keys, that unlocks many mysteries of the unknown. Your heart must be clean and clear and open. No ill intention. There's many mysteries that will be revealed. Many are not of the right timing. Some will never be revealed through the third dimension.
And are these keys or teachings or information or energy that you are protecting, are they inside you? Are they inside the pyramids, or both, or how does that work?
They are in both, myself and the pyramids, in categories. My main purpose is for the protection and to make sure only the highest divine can enter. There's codes. There's certain codes that must remain protected for the protection, even for the earth. Downloads. But there are also downloads that are opening up that have been protected up until this point in time, as the new earth is forming. And those downloads are being released.
And how could one tap into this information, these downloads? How can one access them?
There are chosen ones throughout the earth that the downloads automatically come to. But it's like a puzzle to the ones that aren't chosen to have the downloads. And they create theory and based on their fears or their beliefs of the existence of myself or the pyramids. A lot of confusion. But the ones that are to know, are to receive the downloads, they don't have confusion. It just happens automatically for them. Often the ones searching are the ones that aren't chosen. They're curious and they want answers. The ones that are chosen are usually they don't realize it until something significant happens, and kind of like a light bulb goes off, and then they understand the information that's being downloaded.
And this can happen even if they are not physically in your presence?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's happening all over the globe with specific chosen beings.
What is the purpose of all of this download?
To be able to utilize the true power and energy, the life force that we have to offer, myself as the Sphinx and the pyramids. Nothing is done by accident. Everything was done on purpose.
I wonder if these downloads include information regarding resurrection and eternal life.
Eternal life, it never stops. It's eternally going on. Resurrection, there isn't really resurrection because life is eternal. The soul is eternal. It never dies. But there's things in the downloads that can help humanity and the world as it changes. And these downloads were put there. They were put and downloaded through me and through the pyramids to be released at specific times with the ever-changing earth. And there's been huge change, recent change. And so these downloads the purpose for the downloads are to help humanity and beings of the world and of other worlds through the change of the moment, of the now. And that's why we have to protect them, and why they're not always released all at once.
So this is information that can be very powerful, and it would be detrimental in the wrong hands.
Very much so, and has been before.
Mm.
And that is why I am the great protector.
How did you came to be? How were you created? Where do you originate from? Could you talk to us about that, if it's appropriate?
I come from the 9th dimension. I was created specifically for the protection.
And so who created you into the body that you have in Egypt, this statue, quote unquote?
My image was very present when the pyramids were made. So the vision of my image was sent down. Everything was done through sound. through vision. Downloads were given. So like the pyramids, which were made with sound.
Were humans involved in the creation of your physical body? Or were you manifested, let's say, without the help of humans?
They were beings, but they weren't human beings.
So these beings did these beings have Earth origins or extraterrestrial?
Extraterrestrial origins.
Mm-hmm. Could you be more specific?
Many powers. They had many abilities with just their minds and with sound and music.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. From which areas of the cosmos were these beings coming from?
There were 12 groups of families spread about the world at the time. These were the Lemurians.
So you mean that all these families originated from Lemuria or also elsewhere?
Family that's very connected with this is the Lemurians.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is that at that time of Lemuria that you came into being in our planet?
The very beginning of way farther back than it is known to man now.
Mm.
And the powers of these people, these beings, was incredible power before corrupt, before they became corrupt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are rumors of your existence going back to at least 30,000 years of our time, and so this definitely confirms these estimations. I would like to ask you about your feline characteristics in your body. What is the significance of that? What does it represent?
The body part is of strength, and the lion part of the body is strength.
Mm-hmm.
The wings are the freedom.
I wanted to say that in your in the body that you have in the Egypt, you were not depicted with wings. I wonder why you mentioned the wings. Could you explain that, please?
Originally, there was wings.
And what happened to them? They were removed?
They were removed and corrupt.
Wow.
People not accepting. There was fear of their own beliefs. And as the years trickled down and more corrupt happened, the spirit of the true purpose was started to fade. Although the heartbeat is still very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Man's belief was tainted and tarnished. And if they didn't agree with, if it wasn't an agreement with their beliefs, then they reacted in anger and vandalism. But the ones that were chosen to be allowed to go through and knew what the existence was for, they kept that burning deep in their heart, even though they had to move away from the area for protection of themselves. There was still fire that burned of the existence and the purpose. But to many it was lost. It was easier for them to destroy than to try to understand.
Yes, I can understand that. It seems like history is repeating itself, and several small groups on our planet have many times tried to suppress knowledge that can be empowering for humans. But I'm really amazed by what you said about the wings, because it seems that the ancient Greeks knew about your true form, because during the ancient Greek times, they were depicting in statues beings like yourself with wings, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So this is fascinating. I wonder if your feline characteristics are in any way connected with the constellation of Lyra.
With the constellation of, what was the constellation?
Of Lyra, because I have heard that from several scholars that because Lyra was the constellation and the star system where the first humanoids were originated from, and the Lyrans were feline beings. So, meaning that we as humans hold a lot of genetics, Lyran genetics, therefore feline genetics.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if that was in any way relevant to your body.
Exactly.
Okay. And then what comes in mind now is the word you said in the beginning as you were describing yourself. You presented yourself, you said that you are also a reminder. And I wanted to ask you about that. What do you mean? Reminder of what?
A reminder of the existence of the downloads and the whole picture, the whole purpose. A reminder of that all that is sacred is protected.
And God.
And source, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And when you said you are also a channel, what was it that you meant by that?
I didn't hear the first part.
You also said in the beginning that you are a channel. I would like that you talk to us about that. What do you mean?
Like a bridge. Like you must go through me first. I am the bridge, the connection from source.
There have been many rumors that there are several openings within your physical body where one can enter and can have access to underground tunnels. Is that true?
It's like a mighty maze. Many tunnels.
Mm-hmm. And there are also rumors that there is a great secret that is lying right under your paws. Is there anything you could tell us about that?
We can only share so much. The ones with the downloads understand that. It can be complicated to explain. And in due time, much will be revealed. There's much that is left to mystery on purpose.
I understand. And I respect that. I have another question for you, a controversial one, because there have been again some researchers saying that the original head of what we see on the Sphinx right now is not the true, the initial one, and that it was that what we see now is the face of a pharaoh, which was indeed being put there on purpose by them to represent the power of their existence, and that your original head was different. Do you have any comment on that?
Things haven't altered with the head. Like, how do you say? As time went on, the different kings, they would make alterations and changes based off of ego or what they wanted themselves to come through as the Sphinx as themselves. So they would chisel away and change things throughout the years, which made the rock, the stone, easy to crumble and deteriorate with time. So there has been changes, yes, to the original. But they didn't hold up long, the changes, because it was altered. And it made the stone very much weaker and easier to crumble with time. It was different kings at the time that would, again, not the beliefs or didn't resonate with them, or they wanted to make it what they wanted. So there is truth to that.
Yeah, because many say, many like mainstream historians say that the Sphinx represents the Pharaoh Khafre.
Mm-hmm.
And I never resonated with that information.
No.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that have happened throughout the thousands of years. A lot of fear-based, not quite believing or surrendering to really what it was. A lot of man wanting to, who couldn't explain things, so they came up with their own explanation, or story, or a lot of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of information is very unclear and really hard for people to really pinpoint exactly the truth. But that's all part of the mystery, and the answers are there. You just have to be either the chosen, or you still search with every part of your being for the truth. And it's slowly revealing itself. And before long, much will be revealed. It's just too much for the human mind to really comprehend. A lot of it through the senses that humans use. It's very third dimensional, and it can be a lot to take in for just a person. That's why it's very cared for and protected in such a way.
Yeah, I understand that. I would like to ask you a last question, and that would be, as humanity is now building the new earth, and we are in the midst of this great awakening, what message do you have for us?
Stop fighting and just surrender to the change and the awakening. Even if you don't understand it, know that everything happens on purpose. Surrender. Surrender and don't stop believing. The heart of the Sphinx, my heart, is still beating as strong as it ever was.
Thank you. Thank you for your presence, for everything you have shared with us.
Thank you for asking.